Big Brother would be jealous. The NSA now has the power to track individuals in a way that would once have been considered pure science fiction. Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge is live with more. Hi, Catherine.
Well, thank you, Brett. Good evening. The new NSA documents first reported by the Washington Post are among the most controversial because they suggest the NSA is collecting location data from cell phones and other wireless devices even when they're not being used. Up to 5 billion records are collected daily, and the data can be used to retrace your movements as well as identify relationships.
We call it tip-off information in the intelligence community. The idea being that somehow these guilt by association, if you will, these linkages then become the potential evidence of a terrorist plot by the fact you're identifying a network.
While the collection is focused overseas, the records indicate that location data belonging to American citizens is picked up incidentally, not deliberately, and that's an important legal distinction. The documents contrast with a recent Senate hearing where the NSA director seemed to suggest location data was not in use.
Do you believe the NSA needs to collect GPS location information on American citizens to prevent terrorism?
I would just say that this may be something that is a future requirement for the country, but it is not right now.
In a statement, a top lawyer for the nation's intelligence chief who oversees the NSA said, quote, "There is no element of the intelligence community that under any authority is intentionally collecting bulk cell phone location information about cell phones in the United States." But the ACLU says
the bottom line here is that the NSA is engaged in a massive collection of information about people who have done nothing wrong. The only thing you can do to protect yourself from this is to disconnect, to turn your phone off and go live in a cave.
And the ACLU says this overseas collection may have been carried out under an executive order 12333, in which case it would not be reviewed or have a limited review by the National Security Court. Brett.
Catherine, thank you.
You're welcome.
In world headlines, Libyan officials say an American school teacher was shot to death while jogging in Benghazi. He taught chemistry at the city's international school. No one has claimed responsibility. Meanwhile, there was a small private ceremony today for 5 men who risked their lives in the September 2012 terror attack there. Only 2 of them showed up, though. One was overseas, and 2 others decided not to attend in protest over how everything has been handled by the Obama administration. The Pentagon is preparing to destroy Syria's chemical weapons stockpile on board a U.S. ship in a risky operation, according to authorities. They'll test a system they haven't yet used at sea just weeks before the mission, which, it should be noted, the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons still has not formally approved. The stockpile has to be eliminated by mid-2014 as part of the agreement with Syria, the U.S., and Russia that all 3 countries came to in September. We'll continue to follow this story. The daughters of 5 Chinese political prisoners gave quite a heartbreaking testimony at the House Foreign Affairs Subcommittee on Human Rights today. Many of them directly asked for Oval Office meetings with President Obama to discuss their release. One asked that Vice President Biden press the issue during his overseas trip. President Obama's closest allies who aren't running away from him are still making life tough. The latest on Obamacare with the Fox All-Stars right after this.